Hey, welcome back. Yay, the lipstick matches the top. Lovely, Maude, you nailed it. Welcome to Book Chat, kids. It's very... I've got dinner in my teeth. I also really want to recognize the fact that... What do you reckon the median age of everyone in our book chat is? The youngest is Avery, the oldest is Colleen. I reckon we're at about a... What do you think it would be? Around 40? Between 35 and 40? 40? Welcome to the... We still understand technology, but what are the kids doing these days? Book chat. A big hello to everyone. Kate's birthday's going to be on Monday. Let's make a note of that, everyone, so we can go absolutely hamburgers in the Discord celebrating the great Kate. And Lisa's 38. Oh, everyone's revealing their ages. Wow, that's brave. Are we in the Get Off My Lawn book chat? No, it's between Get Off My Lawn and What Are the Kids Doing These Days. They're in that happy little median spot, which is like the, you know, audiobooks do count as reading. But also, wow, you say that Libby is a free library card that I can use? It's that. It's that nice little niche that we have in there. Logan the Bogan says hello. G'day to you. Shake and Bake's 33, Lisa's 38, KPDubbs is, that's your guessing of the average because I know that that's not your answer. Oh, Colleen, it's your birthday tomorrow? Colleen, is it your birthday tomorrow? Colleen.
Yeah, I said I was 72 last week, but I was only a week away from, I said 71, but a week away from 72, so tomorrow I'll be 72.
What are you going to do for the big 7-2?
Not a lot. My
body shots.
My niece was going to come over and we were going to have a little celebration, but my sister fell down the stairs on Monday night, and we're not doing a whole lot more than just kind of taking care of her.
Recuperating. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. We're going to have to do something fun for your birthday then. Everyone's getting in early birthday celebrations for you.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be celebrating eventually.
We're going to be celebrating with you, Colleen. You know that this is your book club and you're our people. So we're going to celebrate Colleen tomorrow, Kate on Monday. Wowee. What an exciting time. There's so many birthdays at the end of August, early September. Holiday bonks. I know what everyone's parents were up to. Trisha's is tomorrow? Shit. I get her flowers every year. Just bear with me. A little notepad next to the desk there. Zelda, you're being... this is outrageous. You're being... What are you... A little slob. Just having some dinner. Vaidin, thank you so much for 23 months. Libraries are still great. Loved going to them when I was a teen. So did I. I had a library walking distance. I loved going up there and ordering a bunch of books. Thought it was so cool with my library card. And then it's like, you've got 14 days to read 4 books. And you're like, ooh, I overshot my confidence. Sprinkles went to the library today. Kate's going to the HarperCollins book event. The perfect birthday outing for a book person. What books are HarperCollins celebrating? What a great little birthday outing. I do love that. Oh man, birthdays. We love them. It's a work thing. Okay. Is there going to be wine? Because that's important. Alvac says, sisters always ruin your birthdays. My brother ruined mine when I was 6. Little shit. Darcy, are you there? Dorizo, are your ears burning? He can explain himself. We have a game called Pass the Parcel in Australia, where there is a parcel wrapped up in like 16 different layers of wrapping paper. And what happens is pass the parcel. The music plays and everyone has to pass the parcel. You pass it. You P-A-S-S, pass the parcel. And when the music stops, whoever's holding the parcel gets to undo a layer of the wrapping. Sometimes there'll be a little chocolate in there, sometimes not. But you keep doing this and the parcel gets smaller and smaller and you don't know which layer is going to expose the present. Now, smart 6-year-old Maude, born in March, knows that her best friend at the time, whose birthday was in January, she kind of sets the scope on what's cool for birthdays. And she decided to have a McDonald's birthday, which I attended. And I scoped it out and I learnt what it was all about. Not only did you get an ice cream cake, win, you got time on the playground, awesome, but there was a game of pass the parcel. And the rule was, if it was your birthday, you won it. And the McDonald's 16-year-old kid who just had their cigarette break is stopping it on the birthday girl. What happened with me was my brother was sitting before me, or after me. He was this side, and I was like right down to the last one. You can tell the present's there, and I'm holding it, and I'm looking at the McDonald's employee, being like, "What are you doing?" And they weren't looking, and I was like, ugh. And my brother snatched it and the music stopped. And he won my birthday's pass the parcel. And then Brat Maude came out and she started crying. And then my brother was like, oh my gosh, look at my present. It's the best present I've ever got. I love it so much. Look at it, Maude. How good's my present that I got? I lost it. I was done. I was so devastated. I wouldn't stop crying. They would do a tour of the McDonald's facility with all the kids. I was crying too hard to do that. Then by the time the cake came out and I was still crying, my parents sent me to the car if I couldn't stop crying, and I couldn't. And so I was in the family car watching my friends all eat the ice cream cake. Fuck you, Darcy. That is therapy right there. You can bloody pay for those. Anyway, that was my confession. Mum needs some wine now. I'm fine. Happy birthday, everyone. I'm so excited about birthdays. Brothers ruin birthdays. Anyway, everyone, let's talk about Harrow the Ninth. This is the book we're talking about. Full spoilers. We're week 2. Hi, Adam. Swigs wine. Oh, that's loud background music. Was anyone going to tell me? I guess I was having a rant. I'll pop it all the way down. Having a big old rant. I'm not salty at all. I'm fine. I'm a better adult because of it. And I still don't know what's going on, says Colleen. No, we read the book. We read the book. Unmute if you understood what happened in the second half of this book and kindly explain it to the rest of the class. I feel like I can call on maybe 2 people. Kate. Kate, what happened in this damn book?
Let's see if someone else can explain it. Someone else a chance.
Pivot. Deflect. I have the actual breakdown in front of me. The great website of the lockedtomb.fandom.com. It's the official Wikipedia of the Locked Tomb series. I'm reading it. And I'm not even understanding what's happened. Hey, Toaster Poster. How are ya? See you, Big Beady Paul. Great to have you by. Yeah, it's a book club night. So if you haven't read it, spoilers all around. Alrighty, Lisa's saying, I've got it, but I'm cooking right now, so I can't chat yet. Lisa, okay. I love you setting us up for success here. You're literally one of our only hopes. Coraline X Cosplay says, last time I was here when you were rereading Gideon the Ninth and weren't sure if you were going to read Harrow the Ninth. Lol. Okay, Michelle says, I think I got it. No wrong answers. We wouldn't know anyway. What happened?
Okay, so we find out that the ghost soup comes in chunky, and so you can carve out
This is
place,
great.
like memories or safe places for ghosts, basically. And that's what what's his bucket? The sixth guy did. And so Harrow learns from that, and that comes into play later.
The sixth guy is that Palamedes
Calamities, yes.
Sextus. Great. Yeah.
So
Yeah, because his skull, he attached his soul to a bit of bone, his skull.
yes, and his cavalier who escaped from the first book, she had a grab bag of his skull and managed to track down Harrow and
Camilla?
have her do Camilla, and managed to Harrow went into astral projected back into the soup and found him, confirmed that he's a revenant now, and then she gets booted out and finds out that Coronabeth and the seconds Judith.
I have a question. What's the difference between a revenant and a lictor?
Revenant is
the beast.
Ghost. Yeah.
Ghost. Great. Sorry to interrupt. Keep trudging because you're crushing it.
I think Revenant is a ghost.
Lisa confirms Revenant is a ghost. You heard it here thanks to Michelle, backed up by Lisa. Great.
And Lictor is
the higher being.
Unalive wizard.
Yes, but has to consume their cavalier to get there.
Right. Well, so pin in that because that's fake news.
Pin in that fake news. Thank you, Emperor. Yes.
Yes.
I got something. I got that.
Yep.
Okay.
So a bunch of people are actually still alive. Question mark? Who's alive and who's not in this book is kind of
death is merely a construct.
Yeah. So while Harrow is doing chores, killing a planet, basically all these people from the first book come and they find out more about the Ghost River, which is a soup.
Yes.
And then they go back, and then we find out some wild stuff happens back on the ship.
Like a menage a trois.
Yes, which is hilarious to me that Harrow has all these like gothic dreams of what it's going to be like to be a lictor, and it's all like weird gothic nun shit, and then what it really is a posh Greek fraternity.
Yes, well said. That actually explains the Anthes like outfits a lot of the time, so that works hand in hand. Also, question, sidetrack, book note, is Harrow asexual?
I think she just doesn't know yet. I don't know. She's really young. Isn't she like 17? I don't know. Is someone Ace can answer? Yeah.
Okay.
Not. Because she desires the body in the tomb, who we discover is Alecto. Oh, she's not. She just, I think, because her goal in life has always been, to bring the Ninth House to prominence, to be like the best lictor who ever lictored, had all of these issues brought up in like a cult kind of thing, very kind of repressed. The same way if you think about someone in our world who kind of grew up in a cult-like environment, they're very repressed about themselves, right? They see themselves as having this one goal that's been kind of them. So she does have that kind of single-mindedness that she probably hasn't been able to think about herself as other than Harrow Hark, the Ninth, who's going to be lictor.
Right, so you just had the eye on the prize.
But she did have these, but she did have those feelings for Alecto. Well, body in the coffin, she didn't know her as Alecto. So she's not asexual, but I think it's just she hasn't had time to explore any of that.
Because her reactions and responses to it are quite hilarious. Like the way that she kind of describes, she's like, oh my God, what is happening? And then Ianthe like, let's get out of here, almost like protects her from it. And then Ianthe makes a move. Also, KPDubbs, one of the things that you actually gold star, you get awarded a gold star here because last week you asked the question, being in second person, who is saying this? Someone has to be saying this if they're directing you. So you posed that question and you get a gold star for it. The other thing that you posed last week was, will they smooch? And then like 7 minutes after book club, you kept reading and you're like, haha, really quickly they smooch. Oh, wow, is there? Did you predict this, KPDubbs, or did you read ahead and not tell us?
Definitely did not read ahead.
Okay. This is a safe space.
Yes, yeah. So the smooching was just a coincidence. It was basically like the next chapter, 20 pages later.
Yeah, you asked and they delivered in spades. Mm.
But talking about second person, that it seems to have been Gideon telling Harrow about her life the whole time. That was kind of what I was thinking, but I was like not 100% sure by any stretch of the imagination.
No, you
It's
guessed
really
it though.
interesting. Yeah, but it's really interesting. You want to get into like where Gideon came from?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that. Do you know, KPDubbs?
Well, yeah, sort of. There was an assassin sent to break into the tomb, and I where it's fuzzy. They said that whatever's in the tomb could kill God. It seemed like the enemies of God were trying to break in there to release this thing. There was a blood ward keyed to the Emperor's blood. The way they did this is they got some of his genetic material from one of their little smooch fests and gave it to this girl, through Gideon, who the lictor Gideon, who, because of Harrow's mind block, we heard as Ortis or whatever the whole first 2/3 of the book, but that was actually Gideon, and she just blocked that word from her memory. That Gideon gave this material to the girl. She became pregnant with the Emperor's baby. That is the Gideon that we know.
No, this is when it gets Jerry Springer, and I had no idea what the truck was going on.
Exactly. It was really crazy. But somehow they used that baby, but it seemed like they had to sacrifice the baby to get into the tomb. That's a lot of questions there, because Gideon's still alive. That's all I got. I don't know anything else.
There's your gold star, by the way. I gave you a gold star, KPDubbs. Can you see it? Jimmy says,
yes, thank you.
Jimmy says, John, you are the father. Very, very funny. What a great comment. Where was I going with? I had a whole train of thought. That's right. So, for me personally, when I was reading this, I'm just gonna hold on. There you go. It's gone. It'll pop up when you earn a star. When I was reading this book, I was like, what does this feel like for me? And I equated it to, because you know how like the first one was a little bit of a murder mystery. This one's disjointed memory with time jumps and a countdown to an inevitability, but you could have been a whodunit. For me, this book felt like, initially I thought it was like it's a jigsaw puzzle, but then they buried the puzzle pieces in sand. So you had to try and find all the pieces first buried in sand to then start the puzzle. But it was even more than that. I decided that this book is like algebra. I can't even say the word. I hate it so much. Algebra. And there's an equation on the board, and it's x equals with like a bunch of other letters, and then you only know one number. Algebra. And it's up to us to do this entire equation only with this one bit of information, this one number. We had to figure out what X is with everything else.
Here we go.
Here we go. And my thing is, when I'm reading, if it's like X plus 7 equals, that's enough for me. Because I was like, cool, there's a little bit of a challenge for me, but I'll get there. But when it's X equals R squared, parentheses, Y plus pi divided by, you know what I mean? There were too many components. The equation got too hard. There were too many layers. And it was just a little bit complex for this brain that just wanted to listen to a book kinda while also playing Pokemon Go, walking around the neighborhood. And Kate, that's the problem that you say you have, where it's like if you read this book, you need to have 100% dedication and you need to be focused, and that you can't listen at a 65 to 75% attention retention, right?
I did warn you before reading this book that it was like a brain melter.
I don't do maths. I do wine. I sound drunk already. I swear I just had dinner and this is my first glass. Pylang says H equals arrow 9 by 2 to the power of 2 times py slash plus 2. Exactly. KPDubbs says I reread paragraphs at least 50 times. I was not willing to put in that kind of effort, but I did pick up on some moments and I was like, I'll see if I'll listen to a little bit more and I can piece it together in my mind. And then I became the meme of the woman with the numbers at the chalkboard. Not a fun thing. M the cartographer says it was like reading mathematical proofs of science fantasy. There it is. That's your Goodreads review right there. Speaking of reviews, book good? How many stars? Okay, and the cartographer says book good. Let me know what you give it out of 5 and why. Michelle?
I'm going to give it a 5 because I did love how it all came together in the ending. It was sitting at a 4 for most of the book, and then it really wrapped up for me. I know my summary did not help at all, but there's...
we only got halfway through it as well.
There's just a lot happens in this book.
A lot happens, not linear, not coherent, not trustworthy, not real. Yeah, but you gave it a 5.
I did, yeah. Ultimately, I think it's a 5.
Thierry, thank you so much for joining us for 16 months in a row. Lovely to have you here. I know you didn't get stuck into this book, but you were asking what the general review was in an earlier comment. Lisa, have you got a chance to talk, or are you still cooking good looking? Still cooking is my guess. Oh, no, there she is.
No,
hello.
Hello.
Book good?
Yeah, I liked how it ended. I feel like I'm probably going to reread it before we do the next book. Now that I kind of get the gist of what was happening, I think.
Did you just say before we do the next book?
Are you saying you don't want to do the next book?
I didn't want to do it last time. I'm still here. Hold on. Everyone's giving it 3s, 4s, and 5s. Vaidin gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Okay. Wow. Coralinax is like 5 out of 5. Super good. Regards, Darren says 5 out of 5. Book great. Am I the drama? I feel like I'm the problem. This is just not a Maude brain book. But Lisa, good on you. 4 out of 5. I was not expecting that, because you and I were both like, what's happening the whole time? But I'm like, what's happening? Like, I'm reading the synopsis and I still don't get it. What's happening?
Well, I think my problem in the beginning was I was just so confused, but I was still very into the mystery of it. So, like, when it all kind of came together for me, then it was like, oh, okay, I got it. This is good. I like it.
Okay.
So I really love the second half of the book.
Okay. And I did notice that the second half of the book, personally for me, was way more enjoyable. Because the first time I was just like, I don't even know. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to have a sookie. But then we all did part 1 here on Twitch. And, we had the references. And we all weighed in. We all spoke about it. My God, doing that really did help me for the second half of this book. I liked it exponentially more than the first half, where I was so alone in my ponderings or my drownings. So I will say that checking in with the squad makes it so much better. Vaidin, you gave it a 2.5 out of 5, which is my score.
Yeah, it's everything I said before was the same as what I think now. So,
did you like the second half better after we checked in for the first book chat?
Initially, yeah, there's like a high where we're like, oh, everything feels great. I understand things now, and then
Let's
it pops
go.
off immediately afterwards.
Okay.
like maybe a week or two after that, it's like, oh yeah, I'm confused again completely, and all the things I don't like about it are repressed in my mind now. So, yeah.
I didn't even read the second half. I listened to it exclusively. I wasn't gonna read. I don't know. Clever girl, Colleen, 3 out of 5. Only a 3. Was it because the coherency just wasn't enough to see you through?
Yeah, I still had way too many questions at the end. Like, okay, did Harrow die? Did she not die? Is she asleep? It's just...
They even left the ending on an or she did, or and. And I'm like, please just give me something set in stone. The tomb was apparently set in stone and it wasn't. I don't... There's nothing sacred.
Well, and some of the characters I thought got less likable as the book went on.
Go on. Who? Mercy Morn. Great answer.
Yeah, Mercy Morn was one. John was a mess.
John
yeah.
lied.
Yeah.
I got that part down. I was locked on walking around the neighborhood being like, John, you sly dog. But that's kind of all I got from the second half of this book. All of a sudden, it was like the narrator was speaking in Gideon's voice from the first book, and I was like, there's my girl. What? And then I was like, oh, it really is Gideon. Oh, when? John leaving his sperm all over the galaxy where anyone can find it, says Kate. I'm not approving that comment. We will not have sperm in my chat, thank you. Oh, wait, Gaia did. Lol. Oh, sperm it up, everyone. Yay. Miss Necromancer also says, Maude, what you're saying is kind of a mirror of the feelings of the book itself. Harrow is so very alone with her grief for the first half of the... Oh, wow, I said something smart. So I meant that. Harrow is indicative of book club. Maude, what you're saying is kind of a mirror of the feelings of the book itself. Harrow is so very alone with her grief for the first half of the book, but when the second half comes, the truth starts cementing things and brings strings together. Toaster Poster says, I had no idea what Harrow's motivations were. She was present for a lot of the drama? Question? Star Pilot 6 says, you know what, I give it a 3 out of 5. Might have been higher if it didn't have a second person narration. Yes, there was a reason for it, but I didn't feel like it was a good reason. Darren says, I loved the confusion. It was better the second time through. Good on you for reading it twice. And then Kate says that I'm lowering the curve for the rest of the class. Nah. Play the board. Holy shit. Unmute, Dulls. 5 out of 5. Can't wait to reread. Tell me what you loved about this book. Before it was the, thank you, Adorable Dreams. Before it was the humor, but what took you over the line this time?
I think I might be the drama. I like the book because it makes me feel a little toyed with. I think the writing is still very clever. I love when Gideon pokes through and it is funny. But not knowing what was going on and now having some idea of what was going on, I really can't wait to go back and figure out all the stuff I missed.
Okay. Good on you. Also, I love that you started this being like, I think I'm the drama. Gold star for you. Ding. Hold on. Kate, you gave it a 5. We knew that one. Avery, 4 out of 5. 4, huh?
Yeah. Basically the one star they took away was still just kind of the same problems I know a lot of us had with Gideon, was like they're not being much world building.
It's so hard to visualize it or see it. Even the dialogue between the two are incoherent. Like, they'll be talking and then one will interrupt with something that is so tangential that I'm like, I can't even follow how you guys have a conversation, let alone where you are, what you're doing, your gesticulations. I don't know shit. Okay, so keep going. I've been.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like after reading almost 1,000 pages of content in this world, feel more connected to the world itself. So that, and I don't. So that's where that it lost that 1 star for me. But I loved how convoluted it was. I loved trying to figure out the puzzle pieces. I loved that it was experimental storytelling at its finest. Like a lot of people don't really try experimental storytelling because it can be difficult to follow. It causes lots of like problems in publishing and in the people who promote the books and stuff. Yeah. So a lot of people don't try it. So I'm impressed that she tried it, and I'm impressed that it I thought it worked for me, at least. I really enjoyed it, and I love, like I said, I love the puzzle pieces and I loved the style, and I thought everything clicked together really well. So.
What a great point, and I do really want to acknowledge that, and I think this is why I didn't give it nothing. And Vaidin, maybe you're the same. Maybe we can acknowledge that even though we were absolutely lost, like we were let go in space, at the end of the day, Tamsin Muir is not telling a safe story. She's challenging writing decorum. She is shifting things and the way that stories are told, and I do respect the hell out of that. We have a lot of safe prose. We have a lot of in between the lines for fuck man, books are getting banned in libraries and schools, like, just for truth. So I understand what it means to sort of like err on the side of caution, and I really respect that she ripped up the rule book. I think that's cool. Was I left behind? Yes, I was. Adorable Dreams, first time chatter who just followed, says, hi, what's your #1 goal in life? What do you want out of life? I want to do a book club. I'm doing one. Adorable Dreams says, is this a book club stream? It is. What's up? Hi, Maude. There's me when I talk. My name pops up. I do book clubs. I don't panic. Sometimes I'll panic. Not now, because I've had half a glass of wine. Wednesdays are book club days. We do have a book club here at Geek Bomb. We call it book chat to try and have a point of difference from Nerdist's book club. We house ourselves on the first Wednesdays, plural, of the month. Well, Nerdist will get the second 2 Wednesdays of the month. Yes, that means we do 2 book clubs. Yes, that means we read 2 books a month. This is the book for September, Harrow the 9th by Tamsin Muir, who is a Kiwi author. These are the main characters of the book so that we can visualize the characters that we're talking about. It is very helpful. It's also a little big, as you could have gone one of 2 ways. Man, it's mirrored. But welcome. You're trying to do intro and about. Hey, Amanda, maybe we need an intro and an about section. We'll pop that on the list. We have a list. We don't. Just ask. I'll tell you. I got good panicking. Huh. Clever Girl's gripe was that too many people had too many names. Colleen, I said this last time. John, Emperor, God, Teacher. Did that bother you for the rest of the book because we got introduced to more people with new names? I think with Gideon it was Gideon 0, Gideon First, Gideon Reborn, Gideon. Who's the fuck's the first Gideon? Anyway, Colleen, what do you think could have been done to sort of help streamline the too many names?
Well, for one thing, they kept changing names. Kithareya was really Wake.
What?
Ortis was really...
Whoa, there was a sleeping and an awake?
Yeah, the sleeper was Commander Wake. I think it was.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
and she had hijacked Kithareya's body and was using that for everything. And then I think Ortis that they kept talking about suddenly was gone, and it was Gideon.
So Ortis was a project. Yes, play the board. Play the board. Please help. Oh no, that was an accident.
That was an accident. I
I
apologize.
thought you were gonna come in and save
I
the
can help, maybe.
day. Kate, go.
Okay. Ortis was always Gideon because Harrow.
Who's trying to? So Gideon was trying to kill Harrow?
God.
Sorry.
Talk. So Harrow was trauma blocking out the memory of Gideon because she couldn't handle it.
Yes.
So she was calling her Ortis as she was remembering the first dingbat from the first book that died in that plane crash. So she
Yes.
was using him as like a mask for Gideon. Ortis was always Gideon, but she just couldn't use the name Gideon because it hurt too much.
Uh-huh.
So the sleeper was Commander Wake. And Wake was like a ghost, I guess, kind of thing. She was using Ethera. Her body.
Cytherea.
Yeah. Because I read it, so I didn't hear how it was pronounced.
Cytherea.
So
This is
Commander
why
Wake
we
had
drink.
taken over her body. Commander Wake was the one who stole the Emperor. So she was Gideon's mother, the Gideon we know.
Yeah, go on.
And then Gideon was sent to. Someone up in the chat said she was like bomb. Gideon was born to be like a bomb because locked tomb held Electo, who was the Emperor's cavalier. And all the other lictors were all pissed because Electo was alive, kept like in stasis, and that's how John was super powerful. And they had all just killed their cavaliers, and they were like, "What the hell? Our cavaliers could have been alive too." You
Absorbed.
they were like, "We could have like our cavaliers didn't have to die," and he was like, "Woo." That's why they were all mad at him.
Who's Electo? So his cavalier, God's cavalier.
Body in the tomb.
Why
Electo
did
is
he?
the body in the tomb.
So the options were to kill them or to entomb them. Sucks to be a cavalier in this book, huh?
Yeah. But Electo's technically not dead, right? So they're mad that their cavaliers had to die, but there was an option that their cavaliers could have lived. Electo was still alive, and John kept that from all the other lictors. That's why they all were trying to kill him.
I think it goes even more than that. The Emperor's lictor or cavalier found a way to make him a lictor while the cavalier stayed alive, and that's what made him even more powerful.
Because he was feeding off the energy. I remember this part of the book.
Right.
Okay,
So,
okay. I absorbed that.
And it sounds like there was one lictor who actually also figured it out, and he made sure she was killed so that they all wouldn't find out they could be just as powerful as him.
So that's the only reason why he was God, because he had a continual source of energy from Electo in the locked tomb.
Well, it also, the Cavalier kind of went mad and he had to lock her away.
Oddball, you were my second one, by the way, out of the two people that had the answer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think the other lecturer that almost did it, she kind of freaked out in the middle of the process, and it was gonna, something big was gonna happen, and he killed them both. That was what I got.
Well, I think that's what he says. He tells us that, but
Yeah.
given that he's not reliable, probably he could have been straight up lying to us about it. So maybe he just did it for his own reasons.
Yeah, and the other two are also conspiring against everybody, so...
Augustine and Mercy Morn, who
Yeah.
don't really hate each other, but killed God. Which didn't cause a black hole, or it did?
It did, but he
Yeah, I was going to destroy the 9 houses and everybody there.
Gideon's mum is dead?
Yes, Commander Wake.
Who's the sleeper?
The sleeper and the leader of the BOE.
What's the
Blood of
BOE?
Eden.
Oh, that's what that is. Ianthe saved him?
well, the second time, right? The first time she came back from himself, like when Mercy killed him, and then he just kind of resurrected himself and said, "Nope, and then Augustine pulled him into the river and tried to kill him by drawing him into the stoma, like the way they kill the resurrection beasts. But then Ianthe saved him then at the end.
Okay.
So there was two. Yeah, I know.
It's a lot. Star Pilot 6 says, so the sleeper is awake. Awake. Yeah, very clever. I'll give you a star for that. Okay, I'm going to read. It's so funny. We would have double, maybe even triple the numbers, but this book, I mean, I get it. So, there are a lot of puns in this book. I love a pun. Okay. Halfway through Act 3. Stop me if we need more info. So Harrow's just made the soup. It goes disastrously. Drawing God's ire, failing to permanently kill Ortis, which was never Ortis, and which was Gideon, who's inside her body and was trying to that just doesn't make fucking sense. She manages to amputate Ianthe's arm and grow her a new one. After repairing her relationship with Augustine, Ianthe returns the favor by bringing their elder siblings in on the plot to end Ortis, who's not fucking real. Augustine plans a formal dinner party, aka Mount Wow, to distract the Emperor and give Harrow her shot at Ortis. A shot that is stolen out from under her by the corpse of Kithareya, who stabs him and drags him into the incinerator. Seeing him helpless, Harrow makes the call to save Ortis, who's not there. I just want it to make a little more sense.
I think there are two Ortises. There's the one she's projecting that was from her house, and the other one was what she was calling the Saint of Duty that turned out to be Gideon.
Wait, does that mean Gideon's a lictor? What? Oh my god, what?
Yeah, Gideon the First was a lictor.
Oh, Gideon Prime, Gideon Zero.
Yeah.
Yes. Different Gideon. Way to make it.
Two Ortises, two Gideons, too many names.
Thank you, Colleen.
Harrow does a find and replace. It through her memory and through her existence moving forward. So she finds the word Gideon and she replaces it with the word Ortis. And because Gideon Prime's first name is Gideon, she rewrites it every time as Ortis.
Got it. Hence wanting to do a reread where it finally makes sense.
There's like a really quick flashback where she's describing how she's doing like brain surgery on her own head, rewriting stuff when she gives those letters to Ianthe.
Also, I love that everyone's jumping in to help me with this. That's the rule. Like, no niceties, no manners. We're balls to the wall. Unmute and go for it at any time. Permission granted.
Okay. Well, also to add on to that, she did it with the help of Ianthe, which is why she is indebted to Ianthe in the first place. Ianthe's a flesh magician. She's a bone magician, so she needed Ianthe's help to do the whole temporal lobe rewriting of herself.
Okay, I'm going to continue the summary, which is starting to make sense. All right. So Kithareya has just stabbed Ortis. Seeing him helpless, Harrow makes a call to save Ortis. The Emperor is disappointed. Augustine and Mercy Morn are furious with each other, and Kithareya is missing. But in thanks, Harrow receives knowledge on how to protect herself from Ortis. In Canaan House, I don't get a star. In Canaan House, the plans are going equally poorly. Harrow stumbles upon Silas Octa Caesarian's murdering... Silas? Nope. Octa Caesarian murdering Corona Beth Tridentarius, quickly followed by his suicide. I got no recollection of that. Confused by their brief conversation and concerned about her sanity, Harrow keeps this to herself as the postulants gather in Martyr Dias's room to plan the battle against the Sleeper. A week later, Abigail and Magnus, love those two, glad they're back, gently corner Harrow into admitting her concerns for her sanity instead of shock or pity. Abigail suggests that Harrow might instead be haunted. Color me interested. I liked that part. Anyone want to jump in before I go into Act 4? While I can still see. My eyes look really blue. Usually they're only that blue if I'm hungover or sick. So maybe this is preemptive. Last chance. Act. KPDubbs. No Gaia. Don't. More like Act 4 play. Well done. I like that. Oh. Bing. Act 4. As a part of a mission to prepare for number 7, the Revenant Beast, the indestructible beings of bad, Harrow is sent to an uninhabited planet. There, she meets Camilla Hecht, who's traveling with Coronabeth Tridentarius, even though she just died. And Judith Duertoros, and working with the blood of Eden. Yeah, that lost me. Despite believing her to be dead, Harrow presents her with the appropriate letter and learns her past self has promised Camilla any assistance that she can offer. By this stage, I'm long gone. Camilla presents Harrow with a section of Palamedes Sextus's skull and asks her to confirm that he has successfully attached his revenant to this piece. I'm following this. She does and learns that he has preserved... Oh, Ridian, thanks for the sub. 25 months in a row, you legend. I'll drink to that. We have, now that I'm partner, I've got so many more options for emotes and animations. I'll drink to that. I like that as one. I saw someone post a wine time and saw it was Shannon's, and I really liked that. Alrighty. She does and learns that he has preserved himself in a bubble on the banks of the river for the last 8 months. Time makes no sense. So this is my thing. It's like, if we're going to do just jointed time, present time, flashback, keep them linear, but none of it was too many pieces. Anyway, he was anchored to bits of his skeleton, and when she resurfaces with Camilla at Palamedes' request, Harrow remakes his jaw into a hand. Judith attempts to tell Harrow about a traitor in Mithraeum, but Coronabeth silences her before she can finish her thoughts. Camilla leaves, claiming that she and Harrow are no longer on the same side. Anyone want to jump in? No one does. Back at...
Question?
Yes.
Just curious, does anyone understand why the resurrection beasts, like, we know the resurrection beasts are created because of the death of the planet. Why are the planets being destroyed in the first place?
They were eating them, weren't they?
Yeah, but like, that just seems
Resurrection beasts feed on planets to get bigger and stronger. So by destroying the planets around where they're hiding out, they're sort of making a firewall. It's like a firewall to slow down the resurrection beast.
I'm glad I had that. But that's not... I don't have much. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Adam Vision. Can you add that to tenor? I don't know how to show you it. But Adam Vision has already gifted me opening the wine cork with my teeth. Good times. Only this book can do that to me, though. Hold on, can I copy it? Save image. You're live, Maude. You're live. You shouldn't be doing this when you're live. You get a whole lot of people that want to hear you talk. Kidding. I'm going to post this in reading. Cool. Right. Eye on the prize. Back at the Mithraeum, which is the spaceship. I don't even know. Kithareya remains missing and preparations continue. Mercymorn explains that the best way to fight number 7 is to battle it until it's tired and then drag it down to the lowest level of the river and cast it into the stoma, the mouth of hell. As time ticks down, what is time? Harrow comes to accept the inevitability of her death and starts praying. As they make their final battle plans, the Emperor repeatedly encourages Harrow to spend the battle safely locked in his rooms with him. She learns that if the Emperor was to die, the entire 9 houses system would die and become a supermassive black hole. I like the song. As well as the existence of A.L, the Emperor's late companion. On the day the beast is expected to make contact, Ordis makes one last attempt on Harrow's life. Why is Ordis trying to kill Harrow? Why is Ordis trying to kill Harrow?
I would say because Gideon.
So Gideon's just trying to wake Harrow up?
No, it's the whole Commander Wake and him trying to kill Commander Wake. It was a big search for like years trying to find the Blood of Eden leader.
Oh, Sleeper using Kithareya? No. Yes. Both?
Both.
She's a ghost. The leader of the Rebel Alliance is a ghost who uses bodies to
when
enact
you say
her
it
will.
like that, that makes perfect sense. Thank you and bless. All right.
Sleeper agent.
Called Commander Wake. Okay. Okay. On the day that the beast is expected to make contact, Ordis makes one last attempt on Harrow's life. When asked why he's bothering to murder her so close to her inevitable death, he admits that the murder plots were not his idea. Why? Why?
I don't know exactly why, but there's something with them recognizing the eye color coming through Harrow as being either the Emperor's eye color originally
Dark
or his
black, right?
Or his Cavalier's original eye color, because she has Gideon, who's now the part of the Lictor combination. The eye colors come through had that genetic material, so I that's the impression I got, but I'm not real sure about that. If anybody else has another idea, go for it.
Avery says John was trying to kill Harrow through Gideon the First. Oh, John was trying to do it this whole time? Why? Avery, why? God and Electo switched eyes to black. Gideon's eyes are in Harrow's body. Yes, love.
Yeah, so from what I understood, I don't know, I was trying to get, like, because he admitted at the end that he was the one who had sent
Gideon the
First after Harrow. And I know that Gideon the First had this whole thing where he was trying to protect John, so that's why he was doing it. That's why he was so persistent about it. But John said something about, I don't know, I feel like he was like trying to force, I think maybe he knew that Harrow hadn't absorbed her Cavalier and was trying to force her into doing it to protect herself, because she couldn't protect herself because she didn't have Gideon's soul. So I think it was him, the same thing with him lying to all the others. It was him trying to get her to absorb the Cavalier so that she wouldn't become as powerful as him. That's what I understood.
That didn't make any sense to me. Michelle, you seem to have a theory. John didn't think that Harrow was going to survive number 7. This would be more humane.
I think that's, well, I think, like, that's what I was thinking it was, but I think, I'm not, but like everyone's saying, John's a liar. I mean, John gets to kill whoever he wants, apparently, to protect all his secrets. So, you know, I'm sure he just fed Gideon the First some line about needing to kill Harrow.
My favorite part about all discussions is that we're all so strong when we come and start that sentence. We're like, yes, let me tell you about what's happening here. And now that I'm putting it into actuality, it doesn't make sense and I'm not sure. That's how we all talk about this book. I kind of love that. It's kind of great. And I'm not alone. And we're all just wading through a ghost soup at the end of the day. Fuck yeah. John kills so politely, though. What a guy. Yeah, we're all... KPDubbs says, reminder, John is a known liar. John's a piece of shit. Who was it earlier that said, yeah, anyone who calls themselves God is like, ugh. Red flag.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Anyone who calls himself God, that is not a good look. We do not like. Alrighty, going back to the summary. Is this like making sense to some people or like making more sense the more I read? Anyway, in Canaan House, the postulants prepare to battle the sleeper. The endless rain turns to sleet and snow, and horrible organs begin to grow through the cracks of the building and filling the halls. Oh, I didn't miss that. Thank God. Teacher, appearing half mad, has only doomsday prophecies to offer, conflating the sleeper and the body in the locked tomb, and seems relieved at the prospect of his death. What? And then it's the Epiparados? Harrow and Ianthe are in an unknown location, likely aboard the Erebus. Harrow has written 24 encrypted and cursed letters for Ianthe and herself, each labelled with a specific circumstance for opening. They have reached the end of their planning phase, and it is time to embark on the procedure. Harrow plans to perform brain surgery on herself, removing her ability to conceive of Gideon Nav so that she cannot fully be integrated into Harrow's soul. Ianthe begs Harrow to explain why she's doing this, but Harrow only explains that she's chosen Ianthe because she can understand her grief. As her eyes begin to shift, she impresses Ianthe to begin as they perform the procedure. KPDubbs says, it is 17% more understandable than an hour ago. Kate says, your brain just might be at the point of being overworked. Yes, and wine's not helping. Vaidin says, it makes more sense, but I'm also more confused at the same time. Same. Oh my gosh, Coraline X Cosplay has said I got gold color contact lenses to upgrade my Gideon cosplay. Can you please stop by the Discord and post a photo of the cosplay that you've done if you haven't already? You may have. But if you haven't, I'd love to see it. Avery says, you have to consume a soul to become a lictor. Harrow didn't consume Gideon's soul. Not killing your cavalier gives you godlike powers. John wants to be God and therefore won't let anyone else rival him in power. Hence, he tries to kill anyone else who figures it out. But Gideon's in Harrow. Avery, Gideon's in Harrow, no? Where's Gideon? Not the first.
Yes, so her body is dead, but her soul is still alive. The lictors have completely consumed the soul of their cavalier, but Gideon's soul is still separate.
But inside. So there's dual functioning.
Yes, so with two souls inside Harrow's body, it essentially gives her godlike powers. Hence, I think maybe why she was able to use necromancy in the river when nobody else could.
Yes, maybe. And regrow her. Remember how she used her own marrow for the soup and she was able to regrow that? And they're like, whoa, you shouldn't have been able to do that either. And then John's like, Mercy Morn, I thought you had a rap on this. I thought you were monitoring. And she's like, well, I'm just a breathy little dipshit. Great. Kate says, in a world of necromancy, the body doesn't really matter. Boy, am I learning that. Oddball says, but is her body really gone? Oh, don't do that. Nothing's set in stone. Ooh, someone be lurking. Fire Scorpion 555 says, I just want to interrupt really quick. You look really great, Maude. I got here late. bits to make up for it. Oh, welcome. You have missed so much. Explanation City is what's been happening. Lovely to have you, Fire Scorpion 555. Multitasking like a boss. Is the book even real though, says Pylang. And this is why we drink. Michelle says, a lot of my personal theories on the world, are interfering with what happens in the book. I mean, this is not predictable at all. Coraline next says, the unanswered question is, what does Electo think of all this? But is there even a planet to discuss that? Oh boy. Alrighty. Act 5. After her stabbing on the Mithraeum, Harrow slides through a series of different scenarios in the river before waking and remembering Gideon Nav. She also realizes that Ortus the First's true name is Gideon the First, and it was her procedure that had muddled her ability to know his name. Fully awake to the reality of the river, Abigail explains that she and the other Revenant postulants have planned an exorcism of the invasive soul haunting her. They attempted a summoning, but the sleeper appears with superhuman strength and abilities. The river, susceptible to the unconscious, has begun to operate on the sleeper's terms and created a world full of powerful guns that greatly weakens necromancy so that Harrow cannot fight back. In response, Ortus begins to recite his Noniad, and Abigail manages to summon the ghost of Matthias Nonius. Right. So I remember thinking in this particular part, there's nothing that I hate more than adding brand new characters to the third act that we've never heard of before that's going to play a major role. Is Matthias Nonius Nona the next book? Who's the Nona the next book? No, Electo is the sequel after, the fourth book in the series, Coraline X. So yeah, Electo is confirmed and a happening. I have it in my notes, the only thing that I have. Nona the Ninth is coming out in 2022, it's September, I think it's out. And Electo the Ninth is coming out 2023. So Electo will be the fourth book in the series.
The worst part, I think, of the guy in the first, in Matthias, is that, like, not only does he come in out of nowhere, he defeats, he defeats her. He defeats the Wake in a fight, and I guess cool unit in a really cool fight.
Yes.
But because he comes out of nowhere, and he's basically just wins by himself. He's like a Deus Ex Machina. It feels bad because you're like, oh great, the guy comes over and saves the day, and everyone else kind of sits around, looks cool. That's it.
Yeah, this Cavalier Ghost has one last hurrah at being a hero. So no one actually knows who Nona the Ninth, this next book, which has just come out this month. No one knows who the fuck this Nona is. No? Nah.
I can wager a guess.
Oh, yeah. I have one.
Well, because, as you know, in the beginning, we had Gideon, right? And then Gideon died, or whatever, transferred their mind, or whatever you want to say, and then became Harrow. So, and then, as you know, at the end of the book,
as I know,
Gideon either passes out, Harrow either passes out or dies. So it's
or
like,
both.
so maybe the consciousness goes into this person, and then they continue on with the story as, a body hopping kind of thing. Like,
so Harrow's dead, but the soul of Harrow, Nona Gessimus, so no longer a lictor.
Exactly. Through some process of magic or something like necromancy, they just keep jumping and jumping until, I guess, someone breaks that spell or something to that effect. That's my guess.
Interesting that you say that. Thierry says, according to Google, Nona came out yesterday. Avery says, it says Nona the Ninth, but with the 9th crossed out. So she's no longer the 9th lictor of God, the Emperor, who's now dead.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that in this book, they would find some cockamamie and confusing way to make it work.
I don't know that word, but it sounds sus. Clever Girl says, do we know that Harrow is dead? She could be asleep, she could be dead, she could be both. Shame on you for asking for an exact answer, Colleen. Not around here. KPDubbs has a theory.
So the last few pages, there's someone, and we're not sure who. We think it's either Gideon or Harrow inhabiting whatever Harrow's body was. And someone is a caretaker of them, and they're like, do your lessons, and they're working very, very simple necromancy. And then they say, do your lessons, and they're doing very, very simple sword work. So it could be either or both of them. Here's the thing, the enemies of the Emperor were against all necromancy. So now it's 6 months after the Emperor's dead. Maybe the necromantic world is gone, and here's this living necromancer trying to hide in a world where that's not acceptable anymore. That's just a theory.
All the answers are correct. All of them. Avery is actually saying, well, if they were a lictor, they would be the first. The 9th would make them a 9th house cavalier. So Nona could be the fusion of Harrow and Gideon from the house Nona Jessimus. Well, the lineage. But it also said that Camilla was there. I'm going to stop you there. Don't know. Ianthe saved God at the end, says regards, Darren. Oh, really? And Vaidin says, I thought God survived at the end with Ianthe's help. Do we like Ianthe? Why is she helping God? What's her shit? I'll keep reading as well. Vaidin, thank you, Tietrabun. Welcome to Geek Bomb Book Chat. We are talking about this book. Ianthe scares me, says Coralynx. Yeah. Oh, I've been saying Coralyn X the whole time. It's just Coralynx. I'm an idiot. Pylang, will you read the next book, Maude? No, nah. Pun. Ianthe just wants status and will hang on to whoever she thinks can help her get it. Now we've got all the people that have come in. Now we've got double the numbers. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Book Chat. We're talking about Harrow the 9th, and it hurts my freaking brain. So to make things harder for me, I'm drinking all this wine. It's not like I'm going to get it anyway. And I like a challenge. Also, if you're not 21, don't drink. And if you're older 21, drink responsibly. Ooh, God, I am not a good fairy mod mother. Hey, let's continue talking about the 4th act, shall we? Vaidin says Ianthe is extremely opportunistic and doesn't seem to care about anything other than power, like God. Regards, Darren, thanks for 10 months. When are we going to get you in the book chat? I want to hear all your thoughts. You seem to know what's up, and I need that. Okay, Act 5. After her stabbing on the Mithraeum, Harrow slides through a series of different scenarios in the river before waking and remembering giving a nav. Yes, we've all done that. Fully awake to the reality of the river, Abigail explain. No, I've already done that too. Oh yeah, Matthias Nonius. My bad. Changing the rules to that of a Nijanadayan. What is that word? And why has it come in now? Nijanadayan epic poem. Nonius succeeds where the others have failed and manages to banish the soul of the sleeper, whose dog tags read awake. According to Abigail, the sleeper has 2 ties and will also need to be defeated above on Mithraeum. Before returning to the river, Matthias Nonius, Nona, asks to be sent to help the lictors fight number 7 and settle a debt with Gideon the First. Ortus, Protesilaus, and Marta go with him. Abigail and Magnus convince Harrow to return to her body, even though it would mean the destruction of Gideon Nav's souls. Plural. But after they return to the river, Dulcinea informs Harrow that whatever she left in her body is not a revenant or fragments, but rather unlike anything she's seen before. Nona. Harrow decides to anchor herself to the locked tomb and give Gideon the chance to live. Now, aboard the Mithraeum, Gideon Nav wakes up inside Harrow's freshly murdered body to the Mithraeum infested with the heralds of the resurrection beast. God, this is so much. Anyone want to interject where we're at? I'll keep reading otherwise. Unlocking her full lictor powers, she heals the damage. Struggling to get used to her new body, she fights her way through until she comes upon Mercy Morn, who balks at the color of her eyes. Gideon learns that it was Mercy Morn who tried to kill Harrow, and as she comes to some decision about the cause of Gideon's unique eye color, Mercy Morn immediately tries to kill her again. So hold on, Mercy Morn wasn't Ortiz? That was someone else trying to kill Harrow. Because John's trying to kill Harrow. Everyone's just trying to kill Harrow? Toaster Poster says the words are just washing over me at this point. I'm reading them and I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh, thank you, Avery. Yes,
Mercy
Lise?
Morn tried to kill her right before Gideon woke up in the body of Harrow. Like, Mercy Morn's the one who killed her because she was just trying to put her out of her misery because she knew she wouldn't be able to live through what they were about to go through. Or at least that's what I thought.
Oh,
I thought
so it was
after
a
that conversation.
mercy. It was a mercy killing by Mercy Morn.
Yeah, and then when she saw that Gideon's eyes, then she was trying to kill her for other reasons.
And immediately tries to kill her again. Gideon is only saved by the appearance of Kithareya, who shoots Mercy Morn and disappears. Looking for her in the halls, Gideon connects with the Anthe, who is irritated to find Gideon replacing Harrow, and Augustine, who takes one look at her eyes and immediately runs after Mercy Morn. Why? Ianthe leads Gideon to her rooms and provides her with a letter from Harrow containing her sunglasses. I thought that was a sweet moment. And takes her to see the Emperor. I mean, the average person doesn't stand a chance with this book, right?
I think when Augustine saw the eyes, that's when he clicked about that their lictor process was messed up. Because he recognized the eyes of Alecto and was like, oh, what's going on? And then that's when he ran off to God.
Not Gideon's eyes, not gold eyes, but black eyes of Alecto, who we had no idea had anything to do with Harrow. What the fuck? Explain that.
They're seeing Gideon's eyes.
The first or Nav?
No, Gideon Nav. So
That's
Gideon
what I
Nav has
thought.
Gideon Nav
Gold
has
eyes.
golden eyes, and she's currently in Harrow's body.
Yes.
So it's Gideon's eyes looking at everybody from Harrow's body. So they knew that the baby was created using John's DNA. So when they saw Gideon's golden eyes that they thought were Alecto's eyes looking out of Harrow's body, they realized that Alecto was still alive and that God lied to them.
Holy hell, how were we supposed to deduce that? Not even Sherlock would have gotten that one. Tietra Bun says they are gold eyes. Welcome to the conversation, Tietra Bun. I'm looking forward to more insights since I have so few. I recognize that I'm the host of this book chat, but I was very begrudgingly continuing this series because the first one really didn't stick very well, and the narrator talks in a way that I waft off in my own brain and barely listen. And yet here we are. Adam Vision says, are you people all on drugs? It sure sounds like it. Tietra Bun says, I saw book chat, got excited, and then I saw it's a locked tomb and I jumped right in. Hell yeah, Tietra Bun. Welcome to Geek Bomb Book Chat. We meet the first 2 Wednesdays of the month to cover the one book, the first half of the book, and then the second, and we're at part 2, so we're going full spoilers for this one. I just really struggled with Locked Tomb and the book, and we're kind of talking about how and why. But we had a midpoint check-in with the first half of the book, and it did make a little bit more sense, and then God help me, it did not. Oh, KPDubbs just gifted a sub to Tietra Bun. That's fantastic. Would drugs help? Clever Girl, speaking from experience, wine is not. Wine is not helping me. In fact, the lights are really bright at the moment. If we could just... There we go. Oh, bless. Whew. We need all the help we can get. We need some chocolate. Oh, yes we do. Yes we do. All right, I'm going to continue reading on so that we're living it up. Great. As they eavesdrop, now this is Harrow and Gideon in Harrow's body. Apparently there's something draped over them in the room. I remember that. They learn that Gideon is the child of the Emperor and Commander Wake. So Commander Wake is Gideon the Prime Zero, the first of the Gideons. And this was made known in the first book when it was talking about Gideon as a name. Oh, that's a name I haven't heard for a while. All that kind of stuff. But the Emperor got his down and dirty on. Who's been possessing the body of Kithareya, conceived as part of a plot to open the locked tomb. The Emperor says that it was impossible. That's impossible to open the locked tomb, but that ain't true. Before the conversation can continue, Gideon the First barges in and murders Commander Wake. They're the same person?
No,
What?
they're different people. They're different people.
Okay, hold on.
Gideon was trying to kill Commander Wake.
Gideon is Ortis. Commander Wake is Kithareya.
Yeah, kind of.
Help me. What?
Commander Wake is possessing the body of Kithareya.
Who is the sleeper?
Commander Wake is the sleeper, yes. So
Gideon
the sleeper is
the First.
Yes.
Is Ortis the First?
Yes.
And Gideon the First is a lictor and has been serving with the Emperor for some time.
Yes.
They got their down and dirty on, hence Gideon Nav.
No.
Fuck.
Okay. There was a plot.
I'm so close.
You are very close.
Okay.
There's a rebellion going on, led by Commander Wake.
Eden!
Yes,
Yes.
Eden.
Yes.
So they're the Rebel Alliance.
Yes.
And Augustine and Mercy Morn are basically defectors from the Empire, the Emperor.
Working with the rebels?
Yes. Because they have a mutual interest.
I didn't know that. Oh my god.
Yeah, so they trick John into a threesome to get his DNA to give to Commander Wake so that they can make a baby because they need a part of John to open the tomb.
Oh.
So they decide that the way to do that without John knowing is to make a baby. They try to do it synthetically, but none of it worked. So Commander Wake actually impregnated herself. And that's why she's Gideon the First's mom. It gets real weird Games of Thrones-y here.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. It's nothing. I'm like looking around for someone to be like, it's going to be okay. It's not. Like, Pailang says, she did what now? Catch22 says, what the actual fuck kind of book are you reading? Kate says, makes sense to me, and I bet you said it gloatingly. Tell me I'm wrong. I can just see it right now. I did say it gloatingly. Yeah, I can see it. Makes sense to me. You dumb fuck.
That's how Gideon got her name also, because when Commander Wake went to the ninth house and the Gideon the First killed her, she was yelling his name, and they ended up naming the baby Gideon, because that's what she was saying.
But it was Harrow that opened the locked tomb and not Gideon Nav. When she was 10.
But did she actually open it?
Oh, Jesus
I was a little confused by that.
Christ.
I was a little confused by that part.
Gideon was watching Harrow the whole time. When Harrow was trying to when Harrow was trying to break into the tomb, And so
Hold on,
I
start
think
again. I
Harrow
got too excited that you came in. Start it from the top.
So Harrow was trying to break into the tomb.
Yes.
She got to like the deadly blood wards and
Yes.
was like, I'm just gonna go for it. If it kills me, it kills me. But Gideon was spying on her to tell on her that she was doing this thing that she shouldn't have done. And so I think her being there allowed Harrow to break through and actually see the tomb. And then Harrow went and told on her parents, and that's why her parents killed themselves, because Harrow had broken into the tomb.
And Electo got freed from then?
I don't know. Maybe.
Darren, you are not allowed to leave. You will stay there. Thank you. Oh, bless you for coming in with your coherency. KPDubbs says, this book has more layers than an onion parfait. John didn't know that Gideon existed. Yeah, it's the problem with giving a sperm and not delivering a baby. Harrow said she opened it. John said there's no way she could have. But Gideon was there, so she definitely could have. Oh, Darren, thank you. Okay, great, great. And with all of this, Kate is probably still glib. Glib, that's not my word. Gloat. Glib definition. Glib works. Fluent and voluble, but insincere and shallow. Kidding. Vaidin just gifted a sub to Coralink's cosplay. Kate says, getting turned into a threesome one moment, the next your unknown kids are trying to kill you. Welcome to the Locked Tomb series. David Blue's here saying, I do what? This is, I don't, we're here. I'll tell you what, David Blue, we're talking about this book. I read it. I listened to it. I have no idea what happened really. And I have a team of experts. I will deem them experts because anyone who knows slightly more than me is an expert. This won't make sense to a lot of people, but if you've read the Locked Tomb series, which is quite popular, and if you need a nudge to read it, lesbian necromancers in space, where none of it makes sense. Pylang says, I know nothing. Happened to me when I watched Morbius on the way to Vancouver. I still haven't even seen it. I saw the Matt Smith dance and I was kind of okay with that being that. Wasn't it the case where bots acted as if they were real accounts saying that they wanted a re-release and so they actually did it, but it wasn't true and it was just so the movie could tank for a second time? KPDubbs says it would be hilarious if in about 5 minutes, Tamsin Muir popped in and says, I've been lurking. You guys are way off. I would love to talk to Tamsin Muir just to be like, what is happening? David Blue says, I watched Morbius for free and I still wanted my money back. I watched The Last Airbender, the movie by M. Night Shyamalan, on a plane and I still tried to walk out. Colleen says bats get a very bad rap in Morbius. You're not Morbin? Is Miss Necromancer just Tamsin Muir in disguise? The Canadian accent's a bit of a giveaway. It doesn't sound super Kiwi. Avery says, my best friend and I make it our mission to watch every bad Matt Smith movie. Avery, how many are there? How many bad Matt Smith movies has he done?
More than you would think.
Please enlighten me. Shall I pull up an IMDb? It means not talking about the book, so.
Yeah, there's quite a few. He did a lot of like British indies for a while there that are interesting to say the least.
Oh, he was in The Last Night in Soho. I didn't see that because apparently it was a horror and I can't do horror. Lost River.
That one was actually good.
It was.
Yeah,
okay.
Lost River was weird.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yep.
Patient Zero. Charlie says, there's so many movies. Official he's been working. Good on him. His house. Did I tell everyone the story about how one of my besties went to the House of the Dragon premiere and saw Matt Smith kind of like awkwardly standing by himself on his phone? And because she saw him in the show, she thought he was also an unknown actor. So she kind of walks up to him and she's like, you did really good, buddy. Like, well done, huh? You're in a show. Woo! Like, must be a great night for you. And he's kind of like, yeah, I guess. And she's like, should we get a photo together? Let's do that. She posts a photo hanging out with Matt Smith, and everyone's like, what are you doing with the doctor? And she's like, he's not a doctor, he's an actor. And I was like, babe, that's the doctor. And she's like, everyone kept saying that. And I'm like, yeah, it was Doctor Who. This is Matt Smith. Matt Smith is he's in the Crown. It's Matt Smith. It's Matt Smith. Like, do you not? And she's like, no, he just seemed really grateful that someone was coming to talk to him, and we exchanged numbers and we've been texting. And I'm like, what? That's Matt Smith. That's Matt Smith. KPDubbs says he's the second best doctor ever. And I don't think it's even like romantic at all. She just earned a friend for life because she gave a shit about this up-and-coming sprightly actor. There's a reason why she's my bestie, I'll tell you that. Anyway, no, that wasn't Tiffany. I think Tiffany would know who the doctor is. She's kind of on top of it in those ways. Yeah, she was just trying to be sweet. Anyway, story time's over. Let's get back to this fucking book. As they eavesdrop, they learn that Gideon is a child of the Emperor and Commander Wake, who's been possessing the body of Kithareya, conceived as part of a plot to open the locked tomb. Before the conversation can continue, Gideon the First barges in, murders Commander Wake, not the same person. Today I learned. Mercy Morn explains that Gideon's golden eyes, the eyes of A.L., confirmed to her that Augustine that A.L. was the Emperor's cavalier. Perfect lictorhood was always possible. None of their cavaliers had to die. Mercy Morn then kills the Emperor. I kind of loved his death, how he just dispersed into flecks of matter. Not even flecks, just smites, little dots, powder of matter. It's a pretty cool way to die. Magic dust. Yeah, he got dusted. But he does not stay dead, returns to kill Mercy Morn. He demands that his lictors swear loyalty, which Gideon the First and Ianthe do. Augustine refuses and pushes the Mithraeum into the depths of the river, where he attempts to push the Emperor into the stoma. Gideon is rescued by Gideon the First. Like, what the? Do you hear that sentence? It's mean. That's so tough. Phoenix Nightmare, lovely to have you here. Are you Thames and Muir? Can you help us understand your book? If not, lovely to have. Welcome. We're talking about this book that you may or may not have written. Alright, what was the line that got me? Gideon is rescued by Gideon the First, who reveals herself to be his cavalier, Pira Dve, and that her necromancer has died in battle with number 7. What? Help! What just happened? Who reveals herself to be his cavalier, Pira Dve, and that her necromancer has died in battle with number 7. In the other world? In the physical world?
They were all fighting the resurrection beast, but then everyone pieced out and left Gideon the First there alone to fight. Oh. And then basically all of the ghosts that were in Harrow's sort of stage play went to go help him. And he must have died fighting it. But Pira was this sort of half lictor or half the half cavalier process. And so she basically came back into Gideon's body, kind of the same way that Gideon is in Harrow's body.
Yeah. I got none of that. You said it. You were articulate. You were my hope. Ben Kenobi.
Okay, let's see if we can word this in a way that'll click it for you.
Yep.
So, when Harrow got her brain surgery...
Yep. And they did it. Yes.
Search and Control F replaced.
Yep, got that. Gideon is Ortis. Yep. Yep.
Oh, think about it the way you would like royalty or popes or something. Got like Charles the First, Charles the Second, Charles the First, Henry the Eighth, Henry the First.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different people with the same name, but they're different people.
Yeah.
Ian the First, Ortis, the book, has Harrow Control F. Gideon the First, the Lictor. Cavalier was Pyrrha.
Okay, your audio is going in and out, and I need.
Sorry.
I need all the help I can get. Okay, I got.
Where do you need me to start over from?
I got Pope the First. I got all that. They all had the same names, and then the last sentence that you just said.
Okay. So, Ian the First, who we know is Ortis because of Harrow's brain surgery.
Yep.
Cavalier is Pyrrha, or Pyra.
Yep.
However you pronounce it.
Yep.
So the same shenanigans going on that Harrow and Gideon do. They didn't do the usual Cavalier Lictorhood changeover.
You mean assassination, the absorbing?
They're kind of in that same like middle ground that Gideon Nav, our Gideon, Harrow are in.
Okay.
Harrow was not fully absorbed into Gideon the First. He was out fighting the resurrection beast in like our world.
Yep.
Fighting the resurrection.
But we'd never heard of this fucker right until the last little part, right?
Oh, we heard of him.
Oh.
Pyrrha does the thing Gideon is doing. Gideon took over Harrow's body and is controlling her, and everyone's like, oh my god, your eyes are all fucked up. Oh, that's bad. So, Pyrrha is doing that in
Gideon
other body.
First.
That's what's happening.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense?
Yep. Hold on, let me try again. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it does. Anyway, Pyrrha, or Pyra, we're not entirely sure. Necromancers died in the battle with number 7. They watch helplessly as the Anthe frees the Emperor, dooming Augustine to the stoma. Oh, really? Before being crushed by the weight of the river. As she dies, Gideon hears someone begin CPR. Epilogue. 6 months after the Emperor's murder, a woman sits in a room looking out a window into a bustling but war-tainted city 30 stories below. She is looked after by 3 women who hand her bones to arrange when the windows are covered with blackout curtains and have her exercise to practice sword work when they're not. Sometimes she's allowed to go down the street to get food from the vendors, but they never return after the vendor notices that she would have been burned by the heat of the food. What? What? Nah. One night, as they hide from the gunfire in the bathroom, she asks if the woman who takes care of her has figured out who she is. Camilla Hecht replies, not yet. Wow, I wasn't conscious when I was listening to that. That's Nona. All right, so 6 months later is Nona, says Lisa. Lisa, tell me about that. Fuck this book.
That's just kind of what I'm getting from what I read of the synopsis of the Nona the Ninth book, because it kind of has the same thing. 6 months later. Yeah. 6 months later, and you're following Nona, and it's the same thing. That they don't know who she is. She's being watched over by, hang on, where to go? Camilla.
So Camilla never did die? Camilla didn't die the first time?
Well, she's a revenant, right? Or did I get that wrong?
If you can get looked after by a ghost? Okay.
I'm not sure. I was thinking she was a revenant, but I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood that.
I'm not reading the next book. I'm not. I am, to be perfectly honest, I am experiencing immense vulnerability having read this book and having absolutely digested 90% not much of it and being this confused and everyone being like 5 stars. And I'm like, I can't even tell you what happened. This is a discomfort that I have experienced and it hasn't been fun, but I also haven't put in the work to try and come up from that, to try and better myself, to try and study or learn. I've just wanted to get through it. I've just wanted to endure. Clever Girl says it's kind of exhausting. KPDubbs says not every book is for everyone. You're great for being here, Maude. It's not a lovely place to be when you are hosting a book club and you don't get the book. Like, not even a little bit. Pylang says, now you know how I felt in high school. Oh, man. But I mean, like, I could have seen this as like, all right, cool. This is getting the best of me. I'm not understanding it. Let me put in the work. Let me read. Let me really learn this. Let me listen to it twice. Let me focus. I haven't wanted to. And that's 100% on me. So I am the cause and the reason of this discomfort, and I'm not willing to do a damn thing about it. So that is what I call a lose-lose situation. And a lose-lose requires booze. And that's what we're here for. Yay. Guy says just wanting to get through something like a book or a movie is painful because I want to like it. Gold star on endurance. Ding.
Odd. If you want to feel yourself, think about if you were a teacher who had to grade papers from 10th graders about this book.
What? Imagine if I was a teacher and I had to grade papers from a 10th grader about this book. Is that
they would write about?
Oh, I think your audio is cutting in and out again. Colleen says, I read the last few chapters twice and I still didn't get it. Colleen, you and I are just huddling here, holding each other, getting through this book. Pylang says, sounds like if you put the same work into rocket science, we would be on the moon again. I just didn't want to do it. Toaster Poster says, star, you tried. A gold star could be fun for an emote. Gold star, like a participation award, because that's all I am in this book chat, a participator. Michelle says, I think that this book would be a great video game adaptation. I think getting to play as Gideon and Harrow would actually help. So I was thinking about that, Michelle. What a fantastic thing to bring up, because I was thinking throughout this entire book, there is no way this could be made into a movie. This couldn't be a movie, I don't think. Kate says, did Maude get the most improved trophy? I was more thinking that it was spiraling. I'm not sure I'm improving. It would be a great anime. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you couldn't have it as a movie. It would need to have either anime or video game. A necromancer video game. I love that, says Avery. Terry says, when I dipped out of a book, I used this Twitch chat to make me change my mind. For this series, it did not. Michelle says, I think it got the Green Man treatment. If it got a Green Man treatment, it would be good. The Green Man, Michelle?
Yeah, so the what's his name? David Lowery. He did the Green Knight, the Green Man. Lost all words. Words mean nothing. The Green Knight.
Nothing means anything.
Nothing means anything. The Green Knight. With Dev Patel. So that
I never saw
is a movie. That is a movie that leans entirely into just the weirdness of esoteric stories.
Okay.
So it just accepts that not everything's going to make sense and that it's truly not for everybody. So I think you would have to do an adaptation like that where it just leans in hard to this being an unapproachable text.
I love that. And play the board. Talk about your comparison and your headset and what you think it was like, because that's a really good one. PTB?
I was just thinking about how in the non-material world, reality is kind of what they make it. And in everything, what is that movie called?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, they're jumping from realities that don't always make sense, but they figure out how to structure it so that you do know what's going on. You know, you wouldn't keep it as much of a secret as the book keeps it.
Yes.
But you might be able to do something with it.
I thought Everything Everywhere All at Once made absolute sense. Even the shit that didn't make sense, because I could see it. And I think that Avery and I have massive problems with world building, with the visualization of this book. I was saying that even the dialogue is barely coherent sometimes, where it just jumps all over the place, and I really can't see this book. And I need to be able to kind of place something, a version of me or an identity within the book, so that I can see it play out. And I couldn't with this book at all. Adam, what are you saying? Oh yeah, this is easy. Oh, you caught that one too, huh? Yeah, okay. Well, that's another one. Yep. Yeah, you caught that one? Yeah. I don't care. My guns look good in it. I'm still trying to get strong. Hurt my back recently. No one cares. Hurt my back. I've been doing yoga 4 times a week to try and get strong and like really focus on sort of like strength and length. Went really, really hard at this is what I do. I go really, really hard at HIIT training. And then the second day in a row, I was like, oh, back's a little tender. I have been putting icy hot deep heat on my back and patches every single night. I gotta stop hating my back. But anyway, I got distracted because I got guns. I'm gonna post that in the reading chat as well. I keep saving all of these ones. I hope you're gonna upload them to Tenor. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it. I don't care. The internet needs these guns. I posted it into reading for anyone who's a Patreon backer. We're getting... I mean, I'm posting it on my Twitter as well. Thank you, Adam, for being my gift collector. Good times. Why isn't that playing? There it is. Shit, the book. Oh, I swear we have like one more paragraph to go. No, we did it. We read it. We read it. I did it all. I mean, like, what if I was trying to be an actual, like, book critic? I couldn't critique this. Maybe I would put in more work. Vaidin, it's just you and I with 2.5. What's everyone else going to do about the rest of the series? Please don't make me go through that again.
Give it up.
Vaidin's out. Who else is calling it? I think it's just us. Michelle's already bought Nona. Jimmy says 3.5, no more book. Avery, I'm definitely reading Nona. Play the Board says, I've already started Nona. I'm on chapter 3. PTB, what kind of difference have you already dissected from 3 chapters of the book? Is it different writing style? Tell us everything.
There doesn't seem to be any of the feeling that you're dealing with lesbian necromancers in space at all.
What is it? Let's go spoilers. It's only 3 chapters, and I don't think we're going to cover it. So let us know. What's it like so far?
Yes, Nona seems very childlike. She's very interested in dogs.
Dogs?
Yes. Yeah, she wants to...
Nona.
So I don't know if this is some sort of regression after she had, like, Harrow had disassociation. Now we're regressing, or what it is, but she seems extremely childlike.
Okay, Nona is Kid Harrow. We're figuring it out where it all went. KPDubbs says, dog, God spelled backwards. Gaia, I'm Nona. Yeah. Star Pilot 6 says, I might read it eventually. Toaster Poster says, I'm done. The dog part, I don't know if you can see this right here, but it's a treat. You mentioned a dog. Up you come. Up. Come on. Oh, I know you're a bit fat today. Oh, God, I caught you on that one. I'm Nona. Would you look at this little thing? You want it? Can you say hi? She's so gentle. You can take a little bite. She's so gentle. Toaster Poster says, hi, Zelda. Thank you, Kate. We do have 8 more minutes. Tedekin says that is one cute dog. I know. I know. She's like, as long as you feed me, it's okay. I love you. I'm going to get into October's book. Ember and Talia says, I got Nona. I think I'm going to re-listen to Gideon and Harrow first. Why? Good on you. Oh, sorry, bub. That wasn't your best dismount. Star Pilot 6 says, incidentally, I was reading another book set about 100 years in the future where belonging to certain old fandoms has a sort of official societal recognition, a bit like belonging to a religion. At one point, a character being interviewed on a topic is identified as wearing grease paint that marked them out as being part of the Locked Tomb fandom. I'm always amused by writers shouting each other out. That is sick. It sounds like there is a big Locked Tomb fan. And again, that makes me feel really inadequate as a person. Ember and Talia says, I like maths and puzzles. Yeah, I think that's it. Hey, if I'm reading a book, I don't want to do algebra. But I love that everyone loves it. It's great. October's book. Hold on, I got to do a little goodbye. I don't deserve that either. October's book. We have been holding... Hello, and heck 13. Welcome. We're wrapping up book club for September, but we have a book for October in the reading section of Discord, which is a Patreon perk. We've been voting for October's spooky book. And let me tell you, there were a lot of votes. It was neck and neck. And when I called it when we started tonight's show, there was a tie. The tie was between, and if you've seen Geek Bomb's reels on Instagram, you'll know that there was a really fun video that Amanda Tass did about the neck and neck votes that we had for Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury and Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Now, we've covered Gillian Flynn before on Alpha Book Club, which I did with Nerdist's very own Rachel Hine and Hector Navarro. I think we've done both of her books, actually. We also did Sharp Pieces. Oh, someone will tell me what it's called. But we've covered all of her other books, which is really cool. We have an in-joke as well where she gone, girl. She gone. It was Neck and Necromancer. No, that's not too soon. I like it. Sharp Objects. Thank you. Gone Girl and Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Thank you, chat. 9 votes apiece, where all the others were around the 2 to 5 mark. Neck and neck. And I had a little arrangement with Rachel because these 2 books were so close. Because October's Nerdist book chat, the October book, we also wanted something a little spooky. And so I said, listen, we're doing a vote. Here's what it's between. And Rachel says, oh, I've read them both and they're both amazing. And I was like, well, haha, there's a tie. You're our deal breaker, our tiebreaker. So you get to decide what book Geek Bomb will cover and the book that you would prefer to cover for Nerdist. So I'm here to tell you that no, it's not going to be goddamn another 9th book. So we need a new November book. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't think I can do it again. Between Something Wicked This Way Comes and Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, we're going to be doing both of them. That's the good news. Geek Bomb will be covering Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, and Nerdist will be covering Something Wicked This Way Comes. That is our October laid out, 2 weeks per book, Get them both. Our October's sorted. If you want, Thierry says Dresden for November. We haven't read a Dresden book in so long. I think we're up to the 3rd book in the series. Or we read 3 and we're up to the 4th. Thierry, you'll remind me. Honestly, something light and fun after the denseness that was Harrow the 9th. We're up to the 4th book. Ooh. Maybe, I mean, it's such an easy read. Maybe I could convince people to do that one. Although Avery's saying, let's read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse in November. Lisa says, thank God, because I definitely put that in my bullet journal spread because I was pretty confident that that is what was going to happen. It's so funny, Lisa, because I was like, I don't know. I think that Rachel would want to read Gillian Flynn. You called it. She 100% wanted to read Ray Bradbury. You got it. Did we read 4? No. Are we up to the 5th Dresden book? Are we up to the 4th or the 5th? Oh, chat, get in on that. We need answers. But we've got an October book sorted already. I think a standalone or, I don't know. I own 4 and I thought I only bought what we'd read.
We've only read 4.
We've read 4 of them, so we're up to the 5th book in the series. Damn, that's pretty impressive. Colleen's been reading the graphic novels of those. I could absolutely go back into some Dresden for a palate cleanser. I'm always a fan of that. But then everyone's like, he's really misogynistic. I'm like, you're right. That early stuff, not great, but I still love the series. And I'm invested in the characters, and it is a good time. So how are we feeling, guys? Gillian Flynn, Dark Places, our book for October, the first half of the week, but also Get Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. Stephen Bradbury was Australian's Olympian at the Winter Olympics, where he was coming 4th the entire race, but then 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fell over in the ice skating and he won gold. Fun fact, Australia's hero, which is kind of like my mantra as well. Don't do all the work and you still might win. Anyway. We got 2 more minutes. Who wants to say something?
Something.
That'll do it. On that note, maybe we should try and raid someone. To everyone else who stuck around not knowing what the fuck we were talking about, honestly, thank you. That was really sweet. And I'm proud of you. This book was not my best work. And I promise to do better with this next month. October is going to be really, really good. This series, my brain, it don't work none. And I think it may be a maths thing. Or a listening thing. Amanda Tass says, jump on over to the Discord. Let's go count. If you haven't stopped by Geek Bomb's Discord, we'd love to have you. We are trying to count to infinity, thanks to Amanda Tass's brilliant idea of counting to infinity. So we'd love to have you there for that. We have a cool leaderboard. Get a score. I'm not in the top 10. Pretty devo about it. I say, usually we will raid into Gary Witter as he does his gun dog show. I also thought it might be cool to raid into Not Sage. Now over 3,000. What's 3,000? Oh, yeah. The counting game. Yeah. Oh, Sage is wrapping up. Thank you, STS. I'm glad you told me that. Whew, because I would have raided. And last week we raided into Damien Haas, and literally the second I did it, he closed out. So let's not try and have that again. Do we go say hi to Gary Witter? Do we want to say hi to, do we want to watch some Animal Crossing? Do we want to watch some Power Wash Simulator? Do we want to watch some Fortnite? Gary! Done. Everyone say hi to Gary. He's doing a really cool thing. He actually wants to be a guest on Book Club because this is technically like a book thing. He's writing this and it's becoming like a radio play. So it's a really cool thing. He's doing, I don't know, something that I find impressive on this platform on Twitch. So let's go say hi. And let's not talk about this book again. Cool. See you fuckers. Oops. I didn't mean to call everyone fuckers. I'm just so done with this book.